The stars shone brightly over Gondolin, their light casting a silver glow on the city's white walls and high towers. Hidden within the encircling mountains, the city had stood as a beacon of hope and defiance against the dark power of Morgoth. Its beauty was legendary, a masterpiece shaped by the hands of Turgon, king of Gondolin. But that night, as the people slept, whispers of doom stirred in the wind. A betrayal had been set in motion, and Gondolin, the last great stronghold of the elves, stood on the edge of destruction. The attack began before dawn. The watchmen stationed at the city's hidden gates first heard the rumble, a low, guttural sound that grew into a thunderous roar. Then came the fire. Great plumes of smoke rose over the mountains as Morgoth's forces surged toward Gondolin, led by Balrogs, orcs, and fell beasts. At the head of this monstrous host was Gothmog, the lord of Balrogs, his fiery whip cracking like a storm's fury. The once hidden path to the city had been revealed, and there was no time for retreat. The bells of warning tolled, shattering the calm. Families woke to chaos, gathering their loved ones as warriors donned their armor. The gates were barred, and the defenders took their positions on the walls. The air grew thick with dread as the enemy approached, their torches a river of flame snaking through the dark. In the city square, Turgon stood resolute, his voice rising above the clamor as he rallied his people. Yet even he could not mask the sorrow in his eyes. He had long feared this day, and now it was upon them. The first wave hit with relentless force. The gates buckled under the assault, and the skies were filled with shrieking arrows. Orcs swarmed the walls, their cruel blades gleaming in the light of the burning towers. The warriors of Gondolin fought valiantly, their swords flashing like lightning as they struck down their foes. Among them was Glorfindel, his golden hair a banner of hope, and Eärendil, whose bravery shone like a beacon in the darkness. Together, they led their people in a desperate defense, pushing back the tide with every ounce of strength they could muster. But Morgoth's army was vast and unyielding. Trolls wielding massive battering rams smashed through the gates, and dragons belched fire upon the city, reducing homes and gardens to ash. The air was thick with smoke and the cries of the wounded. Each street became a battlefield, each square a scene of unspeakable carnage. Despite their courage, the defenders were slowly overwhelmed, their numbers dwindling with every passing moment. In the midst of the chaos, treachery revealed itself. Maeglin, the king's own nephew, had betrayed Gondolin to Morgoth, driven by jealousy and a lust for power. It was he who had revealed the city's hidden location, and now his treason bore fruit. Maeglin himself met his end at the hands of Tuor, the mortal hero who had married Eärendil, Turgon's daughter. Tuor's fury was like a storm as he struck Maeglin down, casting him from the city walls. But even this act of vengeance could not turn the tide of battle. As the city burned, Turgon made a fateful decision. He ordered his people to flee through a secret passage that led into the mountains, sacrificing himself to hold the enemy at bay. His final stand was a sight to behold, the king of Gondolin wielding his sword with unmatched skill as the towers of his beloved city crumbled around him. His voice rang out, not in despair, but in defiance, a final challenge to the darkness that sought to consume all. Among those who escaped was little Eärendil, the son of Tuor and Eärendil. Carried by his mother, he looked back at the burning city, the glow of the flames reflected in his young eyes. He would carry the memory of Gondolin's fall into the future, and with it, the seeds of hope that would one day lead to Morgoth's downfall. As dawn broke, the once magnificent city was no more. Its towers lay in ruin, its people scattered. Gondolin had fallen, but its legacy would endure in song and story, a reminder of the price of betrayal and the unyielding courage of those who stood against the darkness.